I'm very glad to have you here tonight. Looking forward to our time together. It really matters uh, that you're here, that you bring who you are and what you are, the nature of your heart, your great sincerity, that you bring that. This isn't the Scott Wyman show. I mean, it just really is not. I don't want that to be anything like that. This is something that we are generating and connecting. We come together, we bring our hearts together, and something bigger than us takes place. And our experiences are deeper because we're doing it together. And our heart opens further and feels a sense of connection. And that's a very, very important thing right now that we cultivate. And I'm going to speak to that after the meditation tonight. So I'd like you to just check in with yourself and notice what it is that you're bringing tonight. And even if you're watching this later on YouTube, same thing, just check in. What is it that I'm wanting? What is it that I'm needing? Why am I logged on? Why am I watching this? What am I hoping to experience? Just check in with that. Because I can tell you the most important part of this class is not what I say. That's just not it. I mean, I hope that I say things that are meaningful and that help to bring greater understanding and that facilitate experience for you. But the real power of this class is in the way in which you have the opportunity to tune into your higher self, to your higher consciousness. We just don't have enough of that opportunity. We're not given enough of that opportunity in this culture. So we have to make it. We have to create it. And for me, that's what this class is about. It's about taking time, creating the space and time, the sacred space and time to pull it from the world, back away from our busy life, back away from our anxiety about the pandemic, back away, pulling our attention back from all the places where we've gotten scattered and centering into our heart, into our core. Making ourselves open and available to feel the very subtle impulses of our higher consciousness in the form of wisdom and guidance and inspiration and love and compassion and power and bliss. In the form of all the things that we need to face the challenges that we're currently engaged in. Okay, so let's move into meditation. Settle into a nice upright posture, but also one that's comfortable and relaxed. As I say many times, we begin to tune in to the inner life, first of all, by just coming to the body, letting the body unclench, letting the body relax. We're going to work with breath a bit tonight. Many of you know how much I like to work with breath. It's such a wonderful way of centering the body, clearing the emotional body, and quieting the mental body. So I'd like you just to begin to pay attention to your breath. The natural rise and fall of your breath, and then begin to make it a little slower and a little fuller. And notice in the body what has to happen in order for the breath to become slower and fuller and deeper. You have to regulate the inhalation and the exhalation a bit. I'd like you to try to make the inhalation and the exhalation about the same length. So for a deeper breath, we have to really allow the belly to relax and expand as we inhale. As we continue to make the breath deeper, then that inhalation rises up into the chest. It leads with the belly and rises up into the chest. The breastbone actually lifts a bit. So it's as though we breathe down into the belly first. And many of us live in a anxious state, a stressed state much of the time. And when we're anxious and stressed, the belly tends to stay clenched. So to really breathe in the way that's so helpful for cultivating a great sense of well-being, we have to let the belly relax. We have to let go. So you inhale, the belly relaxes, the pelvic floor relaxes, the lower back relaxes, and there's a subtle feeling of expansion there as you begin your inhalation. And as you continue to inhale, then it rises up. You can perhaps feel the ribs expand slightly as the lungs fill, and then the breastbone rises at the end of the inhalation to let that breath rise all the way up into the clavicles. And then the exhalation is just emptying out from the top down, emptying out. The chest drops, the ribs contract. And the belly contracts. Then at the end of the exhalation, the navel, the lower belly moves back toward the spine. We actually use a little stomach musculature to move the belly back toward the spine to push out that last little bit of breath so that then we can relax the belly and drink in the next inhalation. Work with this for a bit. Try to give all your concentration to the breath, to this breathing pattern. And in so doing, draw the mind that's used to skipping out and going in all sorts of different directions simultaneously, draw the mind into a sense of being single pointed on breath, as though that's the only thing that matters right now. The more complete your exhalation, the deeper, the more satisfying your next inhalation will be. Now begin to hold the breath at the top of the inhalation. You breathe in all the way up into the shoulders. And then just for a moment, stay in that expanded kind of attitude, that expanded kind of place, and hold the breath in that full inhalation in order to absorb the prana that you're developing in this breathing pattern. Just another moment of this. Stay with it. And then let the breath pattern, let the practice go and return your breath to its normal rhythm. Be very centered in the experience that this practice has created for you. Perhaps a greater sense of centeredness. Perhaps the mind is a little quieter. The heart may be a little more open. And bring your attention down into the root chakra, pelvic floor, perineum. And with your intention, send an energetic root or cord down out of the root chakra into the earth, into the planet, all the way down to the heart of Mother Earth. Just have the sense of dropping some of your energy all the way down into the core of Mother Earth. And again, with all these practices, just notice the effect. Can you feel a bit more grounded, a bit more stable? And we're looking with these practices in this class, which is called Look In, Look Up. Our intention is to make contact with the soul, with higher consciousness, with the divine presence within our being. And this presence, this higher consciousness, normally operates behind the drama that is perpetuated by our mind. So to make contact with this higher dimension of ourself, we have to quiet that drama. Settle in, center in, let go of our focus on the outer world, bring attention to the inner world, and invite the mind to become quiet and tuned inward. And in fact, we invite attention to really focus in on stillness and silence, because that is the most common and the easiest way to feel our connection to the higher self. So we're going to do a mantra for a bit, because mantra is another incredibly powerful way to settle the body and quiet the mind and open the heart. We're working with these three parts of ourself, what comprise the personality self: the physical body, the emotional body, the lower mental body. So if we can settle the body in and calm the emotional body and quiet the mental body, we can begin to perceive the subtle nature of our higher self. What an incredible privilege. What a rare and wonderful gift. So we're going to use this mantra, Om Vajra Sattva Hum. I've placed it on your screen. Om Vajra Sattva Hum. It's a very powerful purification mantra. It clears the obscurations that keeps us from being able to perceive our connection to our higher self. The obscurations, the fog the static. This mantra has a profound way of clearing all of that out and leaving us in a state of pristine silence and stillness. So we're setting the intention to use the mantra to clear out karmic patterns, energetic patterns in the mind, everything that distracts us from being able to perceive the subtle nature of our own true self, and to feel connected, aligned, attuned with that by the end of our meditation. So I'm going to start chanting it, and I want you, if you would, to join me. We're going to emphasize the sound hung, H-U-N-G. I want you to really feel the vibration of the NG in the chest and up into the head. Hung is a very, very powerful bij mantra, or powerful seed syllable. It doesn't have really a translation, but it's a very powerful purifier. So we're going to emphasize that. So you'll please just go along with my my rhythm, and we'll say it for a while out loud, and then we'll say it for a while internally. Right? Om Vajrasattva Hum. 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 Feel the vibration. Om Vajrasattva Hum. 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 Really concentrate on the vibration of the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Hum. 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 Three more. Om Vajrasattva Hum. Om Vajrasattva Hum. Om Vajrasattva Hum. Now keep it going, but internally, silently. Continue to feel the vibration, but internally, in the heart, in the head. Now, just very subtly begin to let go, like let the mantra fade into silence. And feel the stillness and silence as though it were a presence of immense high vibration. As though this were the presence of your soul or higher self. I'd like you to begin to feel that presence that's all around you. Begin to coalesce and centralize in your heart center. As this soul presence centralizes into the heart center, it becomes brilliant light. So just sense that from behind you, the energy of soul or higher self comes in. From in front of you, from the sides. Like it takes residence here in your chest. Visualize this as brilliant light and warmth and subtle vibration. Feel it as the presence of infinite intelligence and unconditional love for all things. Just hold that intention to feel those qualities: light, intelligence, love. These coincide with the physical, emotional, and mental. Light is the physical, love is the emotional, and wisdom or intelligence or truth is the mental. It's the way in which the soul begins to infiltrate and infuse into the personality self. See if you can sense how this subtly shifts your consciousness. The mind will wander, and when it does, just gently bring it back to this presence experienced as brilliant light in the heart center, the truth that sets us free, and a profound unconditional love for all things. Now, let your intuitive awareness point upwards, just like from within your heart, look up. Look up high above the head so that you can perceive coming down from the highest consciousness of the Divine Mother Father, highest consciousness of Source, of supreme consciousness. Light begins to descend. This isn't metaphorical, it's absolutely real. Light pours down from high above the head, pours in through the crown chakra, pours down through the chakric system, Sushumna, all the various chakras. Just feel it pour in like liquid light. Brilliant and warm, profoundly nurturing and transformative of everything that it touches. Continues to pour in and fill the body completely full, until even the cells of the body are vibrating with the frequency of this light. This light continues to pour down and through you and follows that cord that you laid down earlier all the way to the center of the earth, so that the light pours through you and continues to pour down all the way to the earth's core. Through you, the light anchors itself onto the planet. If you choose, you can invite this for the light of highest divine consciousness to pour down through you and to anchor itself through you onto the planet. Feel the light also pour around you so that it fills your aura, your energy field. And you may not feel anything happening, and that's fine. Visualize it. And through practice, it becomes absolutely experientially real. And notice especially where this descending light of spirit intersects here in the heart with the light of soul. Becoming so profoundly powerful and bright and full of purpose. And if you choose to, if this is resonant with you, you can invite the great beings that are facilitating the evolution of our planet right now, the ascended masters, all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, all the liberated saints and sages of all religions who are focusing their gaze on the planet and on humanity right now, you can invite them to blend their light with yours. You have to ask for this and open yourself to the grace of these profoundly evolved and loving beings. And if you choose to, you could say to these beings, please use me to uplift human consciousness, to be a part of the great global change that is so desperately needed right now. I don't know how. I don't know how I could do it, what I could do, but I'm open to that. And let the light of their being merge into the light that is here in your heart, this light of soul, this descending light of spirit, now the light of these great beings. So that the heart is swelling with power and purpose and love and inspiration. And let that just supplant all the old ideas of who you are. Let it just for a moment dissolve away the mind's story of you. And I'm going to invite you to repeat after me the soul mantra. I'll do it a line at a time. Just stay centered here in this light in the heart. I am the soul. I am this light divine. I am love. I am will. I am fixed design. Fixed design meaning I am pure purpose in alignment with divine will. I am fixed design. Once again, I am soul. I am this light divine. I am love. I am will. I am fixed design. Now, feel how this light has become so powerful in your chest that it bursts forth. The first thing that it does is it shines to everyone else who is here in this group tonight. And that includes you if you're watching this on YouTube later on. Just feel beyond time and space limitation. This is not a body-mind thing. This is a heart and soul thing. Feel how this light shines out and connects with everybody else here in this group so that it forms a sense as though we were all sitting and facing each other. It forms this larger sphere of light. The light in your heart, your soul light, joins with all the soul lights of everyone else. The descending light of spirit coming down now comes down not only into us individually, but collectively as a group. It pours down into us as a group. Feel this. Open to this. And now, as a group, Let's hold the intention of allowing this light to radiate forth from our group to everyone that we are connected to, everyone that every individual in this group is connected to. Let's invite this light to flow to them with the wish that it would support their highest good, support them in this very challenging time, whatever they're facing, whatever they're struggling with, that this light, truth, and love, inspiration, power might be of great benefit in supporting them in their life right now, helping to raise their consciousness. Feel how the light comes to us and through us out into the world. What a profound privilege. And then next, let's just allow the light to pour into the world itself, directly into human consciousness, and to spread out. There's no limitation to the power of this light. So let it spread out and surround the planet, touching every individual, especially those who are suffering, who are anxious, suffering on the physical level, emotional, mental, spiritual levels. We send this light out with the sincere hope that it will lessen suffering in the world. That it will penetrate into the hearts and minds of all people, stimulate them to get in touch with their own inner light. Just visualize the light pouring down into our group light and then radiating powerfully out throughout and surrounding, encompassing the whole world, touching every person, but also every living form, every form of life, every living being, animal kingdom, down into the vegetable kingdom, even into the mineral kingdom, all expressions and forms of vibratory life. Let the light that we're channeling be of great benefit to all these life forms, and to the planet itself. We humbly offer ourselves as servants of the planet, of global transformation, of the awakening of human consciousness. And just abide in the center of your heart center, right here in the center of your chest. Abide in the light. Continuing to feel your connection to each other in the group. See if you can, just for a moment longer before we close, make a shift from feeling yourself to be a separate self abiding in the light of your soul to being that light. I am the light divine. That the light is actually what you are. This light of truth, of love, of service. It's who you are, and it's why you're here. And then take a nice deep breath. Feel how your body is being supported by the chair or the couch. And as you begin to open your eyes, don't lose that sense of being this brilliant light that fills the body, but also surrounds the body, is not limited in any way to the body. This light of your higher self. Feel how, even as you open your eyes and look around to your familiar surroundings, you still can feel, if you choose to, a sense of connection with the group. And also with the world that you have channeled light to. A greater sense of wholeness, of unity, and perhaps a growing sense of desire to be of service to the whole of which you are a part, in whatever way that you are led and empowered. And then let the body move a little bit. So this is the time when I normally say, hey, do you have any questions? And then people are typically so in the energy of their meditation that their fingers don't work to type into the chat box. So a very smart participant emailed me yesterday with her question, and I very much appreciate that. And I'd like to just spend a moment talking about it because it so perfectly is in sync with our meditation tonight. I'll just read this portion of the email. I've been feeling a little bit off center for the last week, and I think what's happening is this. My brain, not my mind, she clarifies, is having to figure out new ways to understand virtual reality, projection, illusion, and the physical level. My dreams are wildly different. They all seem to point to the brain scrambling to figure out how to interpret this world I'm in. I'm an extroverted connector, and my relationships are how I navigate through life. So my GPS is confused, especially because most of my interactions are online. So I would imagine some of you are feeling this as well. It's been a very strange experience. I've been home, I don't know, since mid-March. Here it is, mid-May. haven't had a chance to hug any of you. I haven't had a chance to sit with any of you in class. And to the conditioned mind, and yes, to the brain, it's like, what is happening? What's real? We're seeing a lot of our activity on the internet, but that isn't real. I mean, like you see me, but you know that who you're seeing isn't the me that's sitting in my office. This is where it gets really interesting. I'm very convicted that this is an opportunity for us as human beings to learn to feel our connection with each other. We've talked about this before. To feel our connection to each other, even though we're not physically connected. And this is difficult for our conditioned mind or our brain because we're conditioned to believe ourselves to be the body. And so if my body is here and your body is over at your house, there's no connection. We don't feel a sense of connection until we're in each other's energy fields. Do you see? Only then do we feel connected because we're physically close, perhaps hugging, perhaps sitting next to each other. Our energy fields are feeling their connection to each other. That's when we feel connected. That's how we've been taught to feel it. But actually, the soul knows no limitation at all in this. The soul always feels its connection to all things because it is part of a larger whole. It is an integral aspect of the one consciousness. It is an expression of that one consciousness. So this that you're looking at that's speaking to you is hopefully an expression of that one consciousness in a way that blesses you. But you, as you receive it, are also an expression of that one consciousness. And we can feel our connection to each other, as I hope you just did at the end of our meditation. Our connection is not limited to physical connection or even being in each other's energy fields. Our connection at the heart and soul is limitless. We can always feel that. And I believe that everything that's been going on for us and all this communication we have to do through the internet and so forth is beginning to give us an opportunity to feel our connection to each other in spite of the fact that we're not physically together. Now, if that's true and we can feel our connection to each other, even if we're not physically close, then we can be of benefit to each other, even though we're not physically together. We can be of service to each other, even though we're not physically together. And if we could be of benefit to each other in this group, even though we're not physically together, we could be of benefit to the world, even though the physical body is at home. I hope that makes sense on some level. So the practice here is to feel your connection at the soul level. Now, I'd like you to do this in two ways. If you happen to be here with a partner, I see there's some people here that have people that you perhaps are living with, sheltering in place with. You may not feel like you have to do this because you're physically close, but here's the rub. If you identify with being physically close, then most of the time you're going to be identified as and interacting from the ego, the conditioning. And of course, that's a bummer because that means we're dragging with us every unresolved thing from every lifetime, including, and especially this one, we're dragging it into our interactions with each other. To really feel connected to one another in the healthiest way means we have to connect with each other other than through our conditioned mind. We connect with each other through our heart and soul. The soul, being an expression or an extension of divine consciousness, is the source of love. Love comes from that place. And the soul is unconditionally loving of the other, whether that other is next to you or the other is in another state, whether the other is your mother or your child or a really good friend and you haven't seen them and hugged them for a while. You can feel your connection to them and send your love to them in a way that is not impeded by or limited by your conditioned mind or whether or not you're physically close. This is a really helpful thing. I invite you to practice it. I invite you to practice it with people that you're sheltering at home with, if you are. I invite you to practice it with anyone that you care for. It's easier at first to feel that you can do this with those that you love and that love you back. But of course, ideally, we want to feel our connection from the soul place to all beings and be of service to the greater good of all. All right, I think that's where I'm going to leave that question. So just see if you can just continue to, for a moment, just feel the attunement that we have with each other. The mind may not know how to make sense of this. You don't have to visualize who you're connecting with, though that can help. You, at the risk of sounding like a Jedi, you send your feelings out. Which is to say, your heart energy. You send your heart energy out. And feel this warmth of connection with one another. So I think what we're going to do tonight is not do the mantra, because I just really like the energy that we're in. And I invite you just to take your time and stay in this energy for a while. If you have the opportunity to go back into meditation and have the inclination to do so, you may have had enough of it. But if you have the inclination to go back into meditation, continue to just feel, experiment with this sense that I can sit on this couch and feel my connection to my brother. I can sit on this couch and feel my connection to my neighbor. I can feel my connection to my daughter my daughter lives in Colorado. I can feel my connection to her. The connection is love, do you see? Love is the connective tissue of the universe. It holds everything that mind would say is separate. It holds it together into a fabric of wholeness and unity. That's love. So love is how you will feel your connection to others. As I say, it's easier to practice with people that you have already on a personality level, a great feeling of love for. I love my daughter so much, and I can just think of her and my heart smiles and I feel my love for her, and I immediately feel connected with her. You see? You can do that with anybody. Now the trick is to learn to do it with people that you don't have that personality sense of love with, and to allow that love to flow to them anyway and feel through that flowing love the connection that you have. And then you do it with people that on a personality level you don't even like. It's really great to do it like that. It can clear out so much karmic debris to allow the flow of love to flow through your connection to these people. You have a connection with them anyway. Rather than it being characterized with all these unresolved issues, let love clear all that out and feel your connection, the soul connection with them. Because who they are at their soul and who you are at your soul are already eternally connected. You're part of the same fabric of supreme consciousness. Now, I definitely believe, I am convicted that growing into this capacity to feel our connection to each other is going to make a huge difference on the planet. Why? Because if I don't feel my connection to you, it's easier to just not be so concerned about the quality of your life. If I feel my connection to you, then I'm very concerned about the quality of your life. When we learn to feel our connection to all beings, then it matters to us the quality of the being, of the life of these beings, whether these beings are animals or our people, or whether they live here or in China or Timbuktu. It won't matter. We feel our connection to them. It will matter to us what the quality of their life is. We'll want the quality of their life to be as high as the quality of our life because we feel our connection to them. And this is going to change, I believe, how we do things as human beings on the planet, rather than just being kind of egocentric or even our own kind of own personal family or religious group centric or political party centric or nationality centric. We will have more of a sense of our connection to the world and want to function in a way that is for the highest good of all. I believe that this is coming. And you and I are a part of the movement toward that in the work that we're doing here together on Wednesday nights. Okay, let's bring it to an end. Thank you so much for coming and sharing this amazing experience this evening. If you feel so inclined and feel like there are people in your life that might benefit from this, then I will have the recording of this up later on tonight, a link to it on my Facebook page. It'll be on my YouTube channel. Anyway, you can get to it through my Facebook page. If there are people that you feel might be interested and might benefit from this, don't hesitate to just send them the link. We're doing this together, and the more of us that get a vision for this, the more a momentum toward great change, great and global change, moves us in that direction. All right. Much love. God bless. Namaste. I hope to see you in a week.